That's right. When it comes to promiscuity, when it comes to hookup culture, we're telling them that it's going to be okay. Just go out there, sow your oats, young men, young ladies, just lay up with whoever. Go and find your favorite flavor. Go out there and quote unquote explore or quote unquote just have fun. Now, I've seen this dynamic with mothers and daughters, and to me, it is vile. It is almost like a form of sabotage and psychological warfare. I've seen this with fathers and sons. This is a form of self-hatred. When you tell your own that you claim to love to go out there and create the very same suffering that you yourself have experienced, you knew what it was like to not have a functional home. And yet you're going to tell your children to go out there and create the very same thing right after you, right? Because you're afraid of shaming. And my relationship with shame has evolved over time. I could definitely say that because I used to be the anti-shame guy for sure. Not saying that I was, egging a lot of these behaviors on, but I was keeping quiet. And that's essentially the same as abetting it. It's the same as, promoting a message. If you're just going to stand there and say nothing, like the folks who are around Diddy, you said nothing. So you were part of the problem. That's how that works. You can talk all the talk you want to talk now on couches on people's podcasts or what may, but you were still there. You were abetting if you saw it. Simple as that. So back to the point at hand. If you are somebody who knows that a certain behavior is going to lead to a certain outcome or even has a chance of doing so, why would you perpetuate that behavior? Why would you tell somebody that this thing is unproblematic? You're somebody who has thrown yourself into hookup culture and you know you're miserable, but you're going to tell your homegirl or your homeboy that it's okay? Oh, nah, it's all fun and games. You're not going to tell them the truth about all of the dysfunction, all of the traumatic situations, how dissatisfied and unhappy and unfulfilled you are in your life. No, you're just going to pretend and you're going to tell them to do the very same thing. And when this is one of the most vile ones, when you see somebody living in the opposite way, right? Like my lady, she's classy. She has a deep level of self-respect. She honors herself and her body. And so she has moved a certain way through life. You understand me? As a wife, quite literally. And so there would be those who look at her and want to see it as problematic that she's not willing to lay up with anybody. In fact, I remember talking about being in a therapy session where the therapist told her, after a long marriage, the therapist said, you need to go out there and just explore your options, basically. You just need to go out there and, because you've been in this one relationship your whole life, you just need to go out there and just basically, lay up, be for the streets a little bit. And because she has sense and she has her own mind that she uses, she said, no, absolutely not. That's not me. And this therapist was confused because, this is the message that many people want to hear. Oh, thank God. I can justify that it's okay. And then you go out there and then, you pretend like you're having all this fun. You're numbing yourself day in, day out. And then you end up on TikTok one day and you're crying about, how there's nothing out there and you're miserable. Or now you're just trying to shame the ones who don't want to be with you for not wanting to be with you. That's the real outcome. Like, I never watched the show Snowfall, but I do know that there was like this meme of the main character, Idris, what's his name? Not Idris Elba, the younger Idris, the other Nigerian brother from the UK. Anyway, this is a show about a dope boy who like builds his way up, right? Like he becomes a kingpin, I guess. He becomes like the biggest drug dealer in the entirety of whatever the hell's going on. I really don't know the storyline. But what I do know is at the end, at the very last season, he becomes like a shell of himself. They show him with, like basically he become a crackhead, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. He became a crackhead. And, imagine this guy who was at the highest of the heights is now, this man who is living in the streets. A man who owned the streets, quote unquote, is now living in those very same streets, begging for change. You understand me? And this is the equivalent of what it looks like when We come out of the other side of what we call hookup culture or promiscuity. And mind you, I'm no longer afraid, because that's what kept me from talking that talk about these subjects. I used to be afraid of y'all who shame people into, doing these certain behaviors. Now I realize you're just traumatized. You're just an individual who, again, misery loves company and you want company. It's as simple as that. If you're telling somebody that they need to go out there and give their body away, to give their vessel away, their temple away for nothing, right? Absolutely nothing. No commitment, no nothing. And you're telling me it's going to be fun. It's going to be a great time. You're going to enjoy yourself. You're going to get all types of flavors. If that's the message that you're perpetuating, then you are miserable and you love the company of other miserable people, or you try to create more company of miserable people, especially from those who project the very thing that you are not displaying. When somebody has self-respect and you do not, the last thing that you want to see is that person respecting themselves. And so what will you do? You either look the other way, hopefully, but in most cases, you will try to shame them into a state of either accepting a lack of self-respect, right, and normalizing it, which is what we've done, or you will go all the way and try to get that person to do the very opposite of what they're doing. You will abate them in becoming somebody who does not respect themselves. That's how this thing works, y'all. I'm telling you, those quote unquote friends of yours who are telling you to do things that are in opposition of the desires you have. You want to be a wife. You want to be a husband. You want to have a true, genuine, intimate relationship. Yet you're listening to these individuals who do not have the same intentions, or may have the same intentions on paper, but they're not living in alignment with those intentions. It's like somebody telling you, oh, I'm really looking to lose this extra 50 pounds and get in great shape. But yet every night they're out late at night drinking at the taco stand, at the In-N-Out, whatever else it may be, waking up late, going to sleep late, not going to the gym, filling their body with any sort of junk that they desire at the moment, impulse, no sense of impulse control, no sense of discipline. And so this person is living in direct opposition to the thing that they say that they want. A person is saying that they want this relationship dynamic, but they're in complete opposition. They're swiping through apps, through faces. Who's the next one? They're going in and out of clubs. Who's the next one? They're letting any and anybody step into their life and do any and everything. That person is living in complete opposition of what it is to be the thing that they may claim that they want for themselves. And so I'm telling you right now, some of these folks are walking around with real spirits on them. And them spirits do not have your greatest intention, your even good in mind. As a matter of fact, they want to sabotage you, especially when you're somebody who is pure and you're looking to continuously purify yourself in this way. You're looking to shift the way in which you've been living, or you're somebody who's already lived this way and you're looking to continue to do so. I'm going to be the voice of reason for you at this moment. I'm going to say that you're not only sane, but you are the most sane, because this culture is insane. The one that we've created is insane. When we're celebrating the bottom line, the base, the animalistic tendencies of a human, when that's what's being put on a pedestal, we have a problem. Houston, we have a problem. If we're pedestalizing individuals who are doing the most vile things, right? This is the truth when it comes to, what we see as a lot of the male cultural aspects. Hip hop, which is like frontier, front and center, right? Violence, selling dope, disrespect of our women, disrespect of one another, hatred for one another. These are the ideas and the concepts that we perpetuate, we normalize, and we accept. Think about that. A lack of a value for life. That's what we're doing on the other side. Oh, well, you know what? I could always just get rid of that. It ain't a life anyway. That's the mentality that we have bought into. We have lost our damn minds, y'all. We've lost our minds. And we're looking for ways to justify things that are actually indicating within us. Our spirit is telling us this is not right. This is not the way. And instead of listening to that voice, we shut it down. And the culture looks to shut it down. Because the culture, again, the companies, the organizations, the governmental systems that want to stay in a place of quote unquote control in our lives, they know that depressed and miserable people are easy to control. When you feel as if life is happening to you and you have no power over your own life, and you are in a state of a deep suppression, when you are living a lie, they can sell you products all day long. They can sell you on a problem and sell you on the solution all day long. When you cannot think for yourself, they will sell you an ideology all day long. And the moment that you accept it as truth, you're done. You're finished. You're cooked, as the kids would say. I'm getting older. I said, as the kids would say. That's crazy. So, yep, there's the truth, none but the truth and the whole truth, so help me God. There needs to be a certain level of shame that we bring back into our society. I'm not saying we look to actively shame one another, right? But there needs to be a certain level of shame that we allow ourselves to experience, because all negative emotions are an indicator. They're looking to tell us something about ourselves. When I am feeling a sense of anger, it's telling me that I feel a level of powerlessness. And so it's emotion, energy and motion that's trying to get me active to do something. Not to knock somebody out or, nothing like that, but to get me to do something proactive. When you feel a sense of shame or even guilt in some cases. Now, guilt may just very well be, you've been programmed to believe that, if you do this thing, say no to somebody, when you want to say no, that, you actually should feel terrible for it and you should just be subservient to everybody. So again, the same guilt mechanism has actually been used against us. Same shame mechanisms. The same shame mechanism is being used against us. We're being told that you must be ashamed forever, feeling shame about doing things that are shame-filled. Yeah, I just did the math on that one, and it wasn't mathing.
I used to be afraid of the dark, a place unknown like a heart in their heart. I used to see my life in the bar. Now the kids unchained, every shackle is lost. 2 steps in the moonlight, 2 step in the daytime. You just know when it feel right. You got a feeling the time's not. See you through those shades that I just threw on. Through my lenses, you just can't do no wrong. I fell in love with myself again. I fell in love with myself. I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light.